Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to yet another episode of The Last Science Show. Black History Month is here, and we are excited. It's time for us to honor another black scientist. Today, let's highlight Edward Bouchet. In 1876, Edward Alexander Bouchet became the first African American to earn a doctorate degree in the United States. Born in 1852 in New Haven, Connecticut, Edward Alexander Bouchet graduated valedictorian from Hopkins Grammar School in 1870. That same year, he began his studies at Yale University. He completed his bachelor's degree in 1874. Bouchet made history 2 years later, becoming the first African American to earn a doctorate degree in the United States. After earning his doctorate in physics, he taught at the School for Colored Youth in Philadelphia for more than 25 years. He died in 1918. Born in New Haven, Connecticut in 1852, Edward Alexander Bouchet is best known for becoming the first African American to earn a doctorate degree in the United States. His father, William, a former enslaved person, worked as a servant and later as a porter at Yale University. He also acted as a deacon at the Temple Street Church in New Haven. We are unsure exactly when Edward Bouchet's father, William, became a janitor at Yale College. On the 1860 census, his occupation is given as helper, while by the time of the 1870 census, he was a janitor at Yale College, now Yale University. The fact that Bouchet's father worked at Yale College must have played a role in him wanting his son to study there. In fact, Edward Bouchet was not the first African American student at Yale, the first being Richard Henry Green, who graduated in 1857. There may have been one or two African American students at Yale in the 1860s when Bouchet's father began working there, so he would have seen that it was not impossible for his son to attend. The youngest of 4 children, Bouchet attended New Haven High School from 1866 to 1868. He continued his education at the Hopkins Grammar School, where he studied mathematics and history in addition to learning Latin and Greek. Bouchet graduated valedictorian of his class from Hopkins in 1870. That fall, Bouchet entered Yale College, later renamed Yale University, in pursuit of a bachelor's degree, a remarkable endeavor for the time, as there were few opportunities for African Americans seeking higher education. He took courses in German, French, Greek, Latin, mathematics, mechanics, physics, and astronomy. His marks were high in all his subjects, but his best mark was in mathematics. He graduated ranked 6th out of a class of 124 students. He was elected a member of Yale's chapter of the Phi Beta Kappa Honorary Society, becoming the second African American in the society. After graduating summa cum laude from Yale with his bachelor's in 1874, Bouchet stayed on for 2 more years and completed his Ph.D. in physics, making him the first African American to earn a doctorate degree in the United States in 1876. With this accomplishment, Bouchet joined a select group of academics. Only a handful of other people had earned that same degree in the country's history by this time. Despite his impressive achievement, Bouchet could not land a college professorship due to his race. He instead went on to work at the School for Colored Youth in Philadelphia. For more than 25 years, Bouchet taught chemistry and physics at one of the few institutions that offered African Americans a rigorous academic program. But the school changed its direction in 1902 to focus on offering vocational training. After leaving the school, Bouchet held a variety of jobs. He worked for Summer High School in St. Louis, Missouri, and later for the St. Paul Normal and Industrial School in Virginia. From 1908 to 1913, Bouchet served as principal of Lincoln High School. In poor health, Bouchet retired from work and returned to his hometown of New Haven. He died there in 1918. Since his passing, Bouchet has received numerous honors. Yale University installed a tombstone to remember him in 1998. And the school's Graduate School of Arts and Sciences established the Edward Alexander Bouchet Graduate Honor Society in his name. Yale also gives out the Bouchet Leadership Award to academics who help advance diversity in higher education. Thank you, Edward Bouchet, for letting every generation after you know that achieving what you achieved is achievable. What an honor it was to honor you. Thank you for watching, folks. Continue to like, subscribe, comment, and share for more from The Last Science Show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good science. The first black scientist we are going to honor is George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver was an African-American scientist and educator. Carver is famous for many inventions, including a number of uses for the peanut. George Washington Carver was born enslaved and went on to become one of the most prominent scientists and inventors of his time, as well as a teacher of the Tuskegee Institute. Carver devised over 100 products using one major crop, the peanut, including dyes, plastics, and gasoline. Carver was most likely born in 1864, enslaved in Diamond, Missouri, during the Civil War years. Like many children of the enslaved, the exact year and date of his birth are unknown. Carver was one of many children born to Mary and Giles, an enslaved couple owned by Moses Carver. A week after his birth, Carver was kidnapped along with his sister and mother from the Carver farm by raiders from the neighboring state of Arkansas. The three were later sold in Kentucky. Among them, only the infant Carver was located by an agent of Moses Carver and returned to Missouri. The conclusion of the Civil War in 1865 brought the end of slavery in Missouri. Moses and his wife Susan decided to keep Carver and his brother James at their house after that time. As she had been in high school, Jemison was very involved in extracurricular activities at Stanford, including dance and theater productions, and served as head of the Black Student Union. She received a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering from the university in 1977. Upon graduation, she entered Cornell University Medical College and, during her years there, found time to expand her horizons by studying in Cuba and Kenya and working at a Cambodian refugee camp in Thailand. After Jemison obtained her MD in 1981, she interned at Los Angeles County / University of Southern California Medical Center and later worked as a general practitioner. For the next 2.5 years, she was the Area Peace Corps Medical Officer for Sierra Leone and Liberia, where she also taught and did medical research. Following her return to the United States in 1985, Jemison made a career change and decided to follow a dream she had nurtured for a long time. In October, she applied for admission to NASA's astronaut training program. The Challenger disaster of January 1986 delayed the selection process, but when she reapplied a year later, Jemison was one of the 15 candidates chosen from a field of about 2,000.